So we're going to begin with some active practice today. And before we start, I want to talk to you about something. It's our Mula Bandha. I love my Mula Bandha. Everybody repeat it after me. I love my Mula Bandha. So your Mula Bandha is let's start with the exciting part. All the bandhas in your body are deeper internal locking places where you can actually hold prana, you can hold life energy in your body. So according to the yogis, we have we have 4 major junctions, 3 of which I talk about in our 200-hour teacher training, and there's another one we may or may not talk about in our advanced yoga training. But for all intents and purposes today, the most important one is Mula Bandha. That word Mula means root, and Bandha means lock. So root, lock. Now we all know as we age, things start to move closer to the earth, correct? So gravity takes over. And so what our Mula Bandha is there for is really to counteract that movement downward towards the earth. There's purpose for downward movement, right? We all know by practicing yoga, we want to feel our roots grow into the earth. We want to feel a sense of connection and grounding when we're doing our yoga practice. We want to be embodied. So we want to feel our legs and our feet and that connection, or wherever our body is connecting to the earth. But what happens when we get dragged down, right, or depressed, is we have this sort of lethargy or heaviness that takes over. And so Mula Bandha is one of the ways in which the yogis help themselves to suspend and to be uplifted and to create lightness or lagima in the body. Lightness or weightlessness is something we really need, especially when we do our sun salutations, when we flow, right? Because if we're going to start doing these like jumping forward, jumping back, if we're going to start to lift off like in a handstand or even just in a bakasana, a crow pose, we want to feel like our landing gear can come up, right? So we want to pull up the landing gear so we get this suspension and this lightness and this buoyancy as we practice. And Mula Bandha is one of the tickets to lift off. Okay, so think that there's actually 3 areas that we're talking about within the bandha. The first area is your anal sphincter muscle. Okay, so this is the muscle that you hold in case you really have to go to the bathroom and there's no bathroom around. Okay, so you squeeze that anal sphincter muscle and it kind of pulls up through the back of your body, right? Bottom, backside. Then you have your middle band of muscles. So the middle band of muscles for a woman is between that anal muscle and the vaginal muscles, okay? For a man, it's between the anal muscle and the scrotum. So that little band of muscle in the middle is called your perineum, okay? The perineum is a very thick band of muscle. And that thick band of muscle can also on its own be lifted and pulled up and in, okay? I'm doing it right now. I hope you guys were too. Like when you talk about it, you think, okay, can I do it? Yes, I could do it. So it's just learning those different areas. Of course, the front bandha, the front part of the bandha. Now, Mula Bandha is usually referred to as just the perineum lift, okay? But really, when you're activating all that musculature at the base of the spine, you're also activating the front and the back. So the front muscle for a woman is the vaginal opening, but then actually you can contract the whole inner wall. And then you can also contract and lift even the uterine area, right? So you can kind of get this buoyancy in your pelvis. For a man, because all their reproductive organs are on the outside, this becomes the musculature along the shaft of the penis, and also the musculature, the inner locking that can lift the scrotum sac up into the body. You know, these are protective measures, but they're also pleasure muscles, and they're also excretory muscles, right? So they have a lot of work to do. They push down, they can pull up, they can just relax. So in yoga, when we're working through our movements, we can actually activate that whole entire area at the base of the spine, Mula Bandha, our root lock, to get that buoyancy I talked about, to get the landing gear up, and to feel lightness and weightlessness and buoyancy through our practice. So today, I really want you to check in with that area. I will remind you often. And there's actually kind of a variance in how much you can squeeze there. So the first sort of stage is to just bring your awareness there and kind of do nothing. Just by bringing your awareness there, something happens, right? You're like, oh, yes, that area is alive. And then the second is to just begin to contract and lift without a lot of effort, you know, just sort of touch in just a little bit, just enough to know that something's happening. And then we can activate it more and more to where we have, like at the stage 5 level, full lifting potential as much as possible. And even from there, you'll notice like there's levels to that, because you can be in that contraction and then you'll feel those muscles may be weak, and then they kind of loosen to number 4, and then you can kind of pick them up again. You're like, whoa, I can get it even stronger now. So I'm doing it right now. You guys doing it right now? Yes, so this is powerful stuff because we don't usually talk about it. And when we learn to utilize that area in our asana practice, it does change things. So we'll be doing some standing poses, we'll be doing some playful things in the beginning of class, and then we're gonna just yin chill for the second half of class and go really deep into the hips and the pelvis and kind of let everything open and release. Sound good? All right, let's do this. Close your eyes, sit comfortably for a few moments. It's a benefit for all of us to take this time out of our day, time out of the usual, and to really give ourselves the space to go within. So oftentimes what happens is we have this pull. The second we close our eyes, we have this pull of something outside of us that may take us away. And I don't want to say it happens all the time, but it happens a lot. So first you give yourself permission to just be here now with yourself and with your breath. And that permission means for these next 2 hours, you have nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just to be on this journey and to give it your all. And then as anything comes in and wants to tug on you, what you'll do is you'll give yourself or that thing permission to wait, to set it free, and that you'll get to it later. And just move it out of your field of awareness for now. So take a breath into the freedom you're creating for yourself for these next 2 hours. And as you create that freedom inside your breath, inside your own body, you're allowing the heaviness that you've been carrying to also release. And remember, you don't have to be perfect as you sit up. If you need to change the way you're sitting so that you can be more comfortable, that in itself is permission. The permission to be comfortable. So give yourself that as well. And as you create that level of comfort, and that inner space, your heart can become bigger inside your chest. And you can breathe more into the cells around your heart. Equally, you can breathe into the back of your body, into your spine, into your low back, into your waistline. Just coming into awareness. So let's bring our palms to our heart in prayer mudra. We're entering into the sacred time, sacred space for ourselves to explore, to awaken, to love more, and to create freedom and space. Whatever intentions are in your own heart, allow those to arise within you as a prayer, silent prayer to yourself, or just a mantra. And we trust and know that it is so, that as we ask for it and invite it in, we are claiming it for ourselves. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace all around. Peace within. Let's begin this practice with the sound of Om. Taking a nice, long, deep inhale, filling up your lungs. Deep breath in. Sigh this out with a sound, a moan or a groan. You've arrived. Let's come to standing. Okay. So let's begin. Oh, let me make sure you guys, I'm not headless here, you guys. All right, so let's begin at the front of our mat. We'll bring the palms together at our hearts in prayer mudra, standing tall. So really feel from head to toe your mountain pose. And if you want, you can turn your palms forward before you bring your hands to your heart and just feel your weight on your feet. Feel your shoulders. You may want to lift them up and shrug them down a couple times. Do the same with the head and neck. If you feel like today my head was feeling a little and neck was feeling stiff, so give yourself a few little soft, easy neck and head circles. And then we'll just begin slow. Okay, we're going to do all 4 of our sun salutations. Some of you have probably done them, and some of you have probably not. So let's bring our palms together at heart center. Let's start with some half salutations. Inhale, open the palms from the heart and reach up. And remember, this is our day. We're remembering to pray. Exhale, fold in half. Touch down next to your feet. Fold in. If you need to bend your knees, do so. Inhale, half lift. Aim the crown of your head forward. You can slide your hands up the front of the shins. Exhale, spill over and fold. Inhale, push the feet. Swing the arms all the way up, palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, mountain pose. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Let your breath lead the way. Inhale, half lift. Tail feathers open. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Get a little more motion now. Inhale, reach up and kind of lean it back, lifting your heart up. Exhale, fold in half. Get as tight as you can. Forehead to shins. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last one on your own, just letting it flow with your own special rhythm. Your breath guiding the way. Now, I want you to just check in and see as you lift, can you also lift your pelvic floor? Or is it just doing it on its own? Perfect. So, C-series salutation. We remember the classical sun salutation is a prayer, and it's a movement to welcome and say namaste to the sun, to the light. Inhale, offer your heart, reach it up, get the light, bring it all the way down your body as you fold. Touch the earth, giving the earth the light. Take the right leg back. You can start with low lunge, sink the hips, lift the heart. Hold the breath, come to plank. Hold strong in plank, take an extra breath here. And then inhale fully. Really strong, really buoyant, little move on. Good, exhale, drop your knees straight down. And then chest and chin to the ground between your thumbs. Chin is up near the front of your mat, elbows in tight. Inhale, sweep forward, tops of the feet, press cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let's take pause in our first down dog today. Let's paddle the feet a little bit. Opening up the backs of the legs. Checking in with the hamstrings. And also broadening the shoulders, the upper back away from the base of the neck and the ears. So coming back to down dog, take one full inhale and exhale. You may begin that Ujjayi Pranayama. Bring the right foot forward. The way to do that is to bring your eyes there where you want that foot to land. Take the left knee to the ground. You may have to move your right hand away when you bring your foot forward. Exhale, step together at the front of your mat, fold in. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale your prayer. Grateful for this day. Exhale, bring it down. Touch the earth. Left leg back, low lunge, so left knee to the ground. Sink the hips to raise the heart. Hold this breath, come to plank. Strong plank, exhale, lower. Bowing to the earth, Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, big wide open heart, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Straight through, left foot comes forward. Move the left hand out of the way if you need to. Exhale, step the feet together to fold in front. Inhale, reach up, raise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Get the flow now. Right leg back, maybe high lunge this time. Hold breath, plank. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Feel that move on working. Exhale, down dog for the lift. Inhale, right foot forward, high lunge. Exhale, step the feet together and fold. Reach to the sky. Exhale, pause. Last one on your own. Listen to your breath guide you. Perfect. So, A series. So this particular series, this is our faster, stronger series. So if you need to make it easier, do so. And if you need to make any modifications, do so. I'll give you those modifications in the beginning. So again, we're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. This time, as we inhale, we come to half lift first. You're going to keep your chest and gaze forward towards the front of your mat. Bend your knees. And instead of jumping back to plank, jump back to chaturanga. So just a little elbow bent, hover. And then bring the hips forward without resting the knees to the ground, up dog. Exhale, pull up that Mula Bandha to lift and raise the hips, down dog. Pause here in down dog for 5 full complete breaths. Feeling the pulse and the oscillation of your breath so you remain pliable with your breath. Now, let's start to bring up that landing gear. You're going to look between your thumbs, bend your knees. We're springing off the feet, so we want to get lift off, and then we're going to plant our feet right between our thumbs. So you spring, lifting up into your pelvic floor, and pop right up into half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, half lift. Pull up that Mula Bandha. Bend the knees. Jump back, lower to the elbow bend, hover. Inhale, push off the toes to bring the chest between the arms. Exhale, lift the hips, pressing back downward facing dog. 5 full breaths. Now, if you want, while you're resting, but staying active in down dog, you can open the legs wide and do just a little pelvic movement. So lifting and fanning out your sits bones, and then rounding and tucking and pulling them in. So inhale to exhale. So now we're moving that bandha further up, maybe even feeling it into the belly as we exhale. Good, you're bringing the bandha in on exhale. You're loosening it on inhale as you lift the tail. Good, back to your down dog, the normal one. Bend the knees. You've activated that Mula Bandha a lot, so when you spring forward, keep it lifted. See if that helped you land a little lighter. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Sweep up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Your arms are probably starting to get lighter now too. One more together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, jump and lower. Now, if you have to, you can step back. Inhale to up dog. And if you have to, you can keep your knees down. Elbows slightly bent. So we're looking for what works for us today. So within the framework of Surya Namaskara, there's always flexibility. So you can meet yourself with your present flexibility and skill level. Good. So we'll finish this one up together and you can do one more on your own. Bending your knees, look where you want your feet to land, right between your thumbs. Hold and pull up through the Mula Bandha. Spring forward, inhale, release it as you pop up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, buoyancy, lift up through that Bandha. Lean it back a little. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Do one more on your own. I'm gonna come over here and just give a little looky-loo to make sure everybody's doing okay. And if you had to rest, don't worry, it's okay. If you have to turn off your video, don't worry, it's okay. All of this practice is for you. And we simply just remember that as I meet myself in each of these poses, as I move gracefully, as I breathe and let my breath move me. And this is all about the opportunity to come into a greater relationship with ourselves, with our body, with the energy that animates our life, and to find our joy as we play. Beautiful. We'll all meet in standing mountain pose. And from mountain pose now, let's do this. Let's go into what we call the D salutation, okay? This is known as the rolling sun salutation. And some of you have never done this with me before. So I would understand if you have to watch the first round. So you can take a break and watch me if you'd like. And then you can join me on round 2, 3, and 4. All right? So this is gonna have a little bit of an abdominal kind of feel to it, okay? So.
Erika, sorry, is this in our manual? Is there a picture?
Oh, good question. No. So make sure that you maybe take some notes and that will help, Kate. All right. So palms together at heart center. We're gonna go just like we were. Inhale, open and reach. Maybe lean it back a little bit. Exhale. Float forward, touch down. Now, bend the knees. I'm going to sit and roll back. One full roll. One full spinal roll, and then a half. Then I land with my hands facing down, and my booty is resting on the back of my hands, okay? So I'm gonna flex my feet and lower till almost where my heels touch the ground. Point and raise back up to 90. And we're gonna do about, let's say 10 of these leg lifts. So remember, we're playing with our bandhas. So I want you to feel how the bandhas help you raise your leg rather than your legs and your hip flexors doing all the work. Okay, and then once you get to 10, you're gonna sweep your legs overhead, almost like a little plow. Momentum forward through. That's the part that usually gets a little funny. and then fold. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, returning to your prayer, your hearts. Okay? So I'll talk you guys through the first couple so you can play, and then you can do one on your own like we've been. Okay? Awesome. Let's do this. So palms together at heart center. Mountain pose. Just feel how it is to be front, back, right, left, inner, outer, gracefully present, head to toe. Sort of like a channel between heaven and earth is your spine. Channel of light. Inhale, open your heart, open your prayers, lift them up to the sky. Exhale, hinging from the hips. Swan dive forward. Fold. Inhale, sit down and lift your heart. So it's almost like you're coming in a little squat pose. Exhale. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, roll back. Bring your hands underneath your booty. Keep that exhale going as you flex your feet almost to where your heels touch the ground. Point and raise. Just to 90. And then that was 1, 2. Keep going, 3. Try to do it kind of quick. Get some momentum there, but again, focus on that's 5. Flex as you lower, point as you raise. Pull in that bandha, especially as you lower, okay? Because that's going to help to support. Exhale, inhale. Last one, exhale. Now inhale, sweep the legs overhead, lean forward, come right into that squat pose, kind of, and then pop into your forward bend and fold in. Now inhale, sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit down. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, roll back, hands underneath. Exhale, 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 first leg lift. Inhale, point. Exhale, lower. Inhale, point. Exhale, lower. 4, 5, 6. Let it be about your belly. 7, 8, lower belly. 9, move on. 10, sweep it back. Sweep it forward. Get that momentum, pop up. Inhale, reach to the sky, lean back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Your turn. Play. Be a kid again, okay? Just get excited about feeling this rhythm. A new sort of sun salutation. Start whenever you're ready. And if you can't get that full roll perfect, it's okay. We're massaging out the muscles on either side of the spine when we roll like that. And if any part of your spine is, out of place, maybe you'll get the adjustment as you roll. Good. And just take your time. Sometimes if you go slower, right? I said when we get the momentum up and down, sometimes if you go slower with the leg lifts, you get more activation in the abs. And then when you finish, just come back into mountain pose and pause. Good. All right. So take a few breaths just in that pause. Standing tall. Just notice how your energy may have shifted. And we're going to come into our first standing balancing pose for today. We're going to do big toe pose. Ekapada Hastasana. And the way this works, take your index, we call it yogi grab, index and middle finger, and we'll start with the right hand, right foot, okay? So bending the right knee, and then you have to sit up tall, stand up tall. You have to feel that strength of your standing leg. And this is just open. I like to grab from the inside rather than the outside, but you can choose. Your other arm can be here to help you balance, okay? This may be as far as you go today, and that's fine. Next, we're gonna take our left hand to our hip as we extend the right heel forward. So now the right arm is just above the right leg. If you can get the full extension through both of the legs, that means you're standing straight on your left and you're straightening your right. Keep your breastbone lifted, shoulders back, collarbone spacious. Next phase, take the leg out to the right. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. Keep asking for permission. Gaze is soft out in front of you. Good. Now if you want, when you let go, see if you can lower your legs slowly to the ground. And then shake it out. Give it a little pause.
Erika, could we grab our foot like our foot like this instead of your toe, or is that?
Yes, yes. You can grab your whole foot like with the whole palm of your hand if you'd like.
Okay.
Yes. Good. Okay, so let's take the other side now. Good question, Danielle. Take the other side now. Index, middle finger, or like Danielle asked you to take your whole hand around your foot. Okay, remember the way we grab is going to set up an effect of our shoulder. Okay, so if I grab like this, my shoulder might round forward. But if I grab like this, my shoulder and my chest might have more space to open. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't want you to come here with that upper back rounding. So pull the shoulder bit back, bring the shoulder blades into the back door of your heart, and try to keep those ribs pinned down. Where's your Mula wand? Now go into the extension. Yes, keep your heart lifted, everyone. Shoulders back, earlobes over the tops of your shoulders, chin slightly back. Good, and then now begin to open it out. Good. And I hold my right hip because I want my hip to be level across. The tendency is we kind of jut one heel out or hip out. We want to keep everything kind of pinned in nice and tight. Inner groins tuck like towards each other, even though you're opening the leg out. Good, bring it forward again. You guys did great. Exhale, release, and see if you can lower it slowly down. I know that's a hard one. Shake it out. Let's do another. Let's do Natarajasana. Okay? So shake out, do a little hula in your hips, little ummies. Circles, circle, circle, circle. Other direction, circle, circle, circle. See how that helps to kind of release any tightness there. And then let's play with, so this is more outer grab. Typically when we come into Dancer 1, Natarajasana, when we reach back to grab that right foot, we start to already open that knee out. So I want you to keep your inner thighs towards your midline and kind of keep steady with your plumb line, right? So that knee just points straight down. And you're bringing your foot into your booty. Right heel, right booty. Okay? Be attentive to the front of the chest. Shoulders roll back. Heart lifts. Stand up tall, like you've got a string attached to the top of your head. Now take your left arm up. Now engage your Bandha, Mula bond. And this is your balance with star gaze out in front. And then if you can sparkle a little bit more here, do it. Bring your hand to the inside of your right foot. So now you're opening that right side of the chest. The knees don't go apart here. They stay connected to your midline. And your foot actually goes straight back behind you, pointing your toes to the sky. So your hand is pushing into your foot, and your foot is pushing into your hand. Okay, so it's not about how far we can go, more like how much of an arc can you get on the front of your body. Good, now inhale, come up. So it's a standing back bend. Pull up pelvic floor, and then release. Shake it out. So hopefully what you got is this like sense of buoyancy, right? A rebound force that moves up your body and kind of gives you that lift as you work. So let's go to left side. Quad left gets the stretch. The quad moves all the way from the knee where it connects. There's 4 muscles. They connect into that knee joint. The heel, you're pulling that into the back side, but at the same time, you're moving your sitting bones towards your heels, and that's what's going to activate this whole entire pelvic bowl. Otherwise, you're soft. So get that Mula Bandha turned on, right? And then all of a sudden, whoa, here we go. Lift off. So feel that energy. Right arm by the right ear. Shoulders are relaxed down. Pin the ribs slightly down. Belly draws in. And when you're ready, when you have the balance, that's when it's time to move, because you're going to hold that balance point with your gaze, your drishti, pushing the foot into the hand, but hand into the foot. So the two are connecting. And then you can kind of allow this side, as you draw your inner groins towards each other, keep you activated in that arch. Standing back bend. Beautiful. Inhaling, coming up. Return, squeeze, exhale, release, and shake it out. Good, okay, we're getting schwitzy. This is good stuff, guys. Let's do a little twist now. So big toes to touch, heels just slightly apart. Okay, so it's almost like you came from hips distance in your feet and you just brought your big toes together, that's it. As we come into chair pose, you're gonna bend your knees. Your trunk is over the front of your body. Your knees, you can go down as low as you can, just to where you can still see the tips of your toes maybe. And then bring your hands to prayer. So it's a lightning bolt shape through your body. So we just opened the thighs, now we're asking them to turn on again. As you do that, pull up through your pelvic floor. Good. So left elbow over to the right outer side. Push the elbow down, half lift. So we're pulling up and out of the low back, pressing the palms together towards prayer at our heart, and then looking over the right shoulder. Breathing. Good, inhale, come back to center. If you need to, you can always fold and release for a moment, shake out the head and neck, and then replace yourself back into that Utkatasana pose. Long spine as you twist. Right elbow cross, lift up, lengthen as you twist. So you're inhaling, pushing the hips back, lengthening crown forward, exhale, twisting deeply. And release, back to center, inhale, exhale, fold in half. Woo! Shake out your head, shake out your tail. Turn your toes out now, opposite, and pop squat. So you're coming into kind of a wide malasana. You can do that with the heels up or down on the floor. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Push the two together. Knees into the elbows, elbows into the knees. Good, so you're feeling that energy of the 2 points meeting, equal energy. Good, now let's try a little Bakasana. You're gonna slide your arms further down your knees. So your upper arms are kind of right at that crease where your armpit and upper arm are, okay? Palms stay together for now. So you first kind of come into this lower version, and lift your heart out of it. From here, keep that heart lifted, hands in front about shoulders distance apart or slightly wider. Open the fingers. Push off the heels, toes on the ground. So now I got half my weight on my feet, half my weight on my hands. And the other bit is just on this shelf of my elbows bent. Look forward, push off the tips of your toes. Good, maybe one foot comes up, maybe the other foot comes up. Then you're going into your Mula Bandha to hold. 3, 2, 1. Lower the feet down, take a pause, replace the arms, try again. Deep breath, lift the heart. Keep the eye gaze forward. Come forward off the toes. Try lifting the opposite foot up first. And lower down. Good. So you're gonna hold your legs, tiptoe pose. Thighs are parallel now, heels off the ground. Palms together, heart center, long, strong spine. Perfect. Knees come forward, and you're ready for camel pose. And let me just check so you guys can see me best.
Hey, Erika, I have a question. With the bends and your knees up on your arm, what should stumpy arm people like me do? Like, I feel like I can't get to the right part of my arm, my leg, when I'm in the position there. So should I just block it, or?
Any place between your elbow, like where the meat starts on your tricep, any place between there and up here is good.
Okay.
You just want to make sure you're bending that elbow, because you're actually making a shelf for your arm to rest on. So the more you get into that shelf shape, easier it'll be. And sometimes you have to, watch. Sometimes you have to like go super wide with your legs.
Okay.
Right? You see that? And super wide with your arms, just to start.
Yeah.
Right? And if you can start there with the wide version, then as you get better and better, lighter and lighter, liftier and liftier, you can bring it in. Closer.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I know this is fun. All right. So we're going to get into camel. So onto your knees. Let's actually do one thing first, because we didn't do much side bending. So from that camel prep position, hips and knees, right, are on the same path with the shoulders. I can even bring myself in a little more. Yes. Okay. Let's bring our right leg out. As we bring our right leg out, notice the tendency to lean into it. Keep your weight even and kind of do your mountain pose over that left knee. So the right leg is out to the side open, gate pose. So we haven't done much side stretching, just that little twist we did in chair. So this will help to prep us. Inner groin is going to open, and we're going to keep that lift through the front of the body as we raise our left arm. Right hand slides down the right leg, and left arm stays kind of floaty above, but you're pulling up from the floor all the way alongside the side body, creating that space here. Now don't forget, you don't want to crunch too much here. Keep that length through your torso. Good. We're just going to the side, so you want to stay on the plane of your leg. You don't want to come forward and push it back. So stay open. Good. Inhale, come all the way up, using your feet and knee as an anchor, changing sides. Mountain. Left foot out. Okay, I'm going to adjust just a little bit. Okay, so some people don't feel as good with that foot flexed. If you want to turn the toes down, that's fine. Just know it sometimes puts a little extra pressure on the knee. So the moment you flex, you're actually creating more muscular energy up in your upper thigh. And we want that to stay engaged. We don't want it just to dunk, okay? Keep everything pulled in. Play with that Mula Bandha energy. Left hand on the thigh, right arm reaches up. Let that whole extension go up. Big, strong lift. Exhale, keep the lift as you arc over. Okay, so the hips and pelvis, chest and heart, stay facing front. If I want to do anything, instead of letting the shoulder roll forward, have the shoulder roll back. Get that arm a little brighter, fingers and hands a little brighter, and then spin your heart a little more towards the sky. And that's going to wake up the side waist, quadratus lumborum, your low back, right? Rib cage, belly, obliques. Yes. Now see if you can lift instead of from your outer body, lift from your inner body. Inhale, come out. Exhale, release. Awesome. All right. Ushtrasana. Camel pose. Same feeling of mountain pose. You can keep your toes curled under, or I like the tops of the feet flat, because I've been doing so much flexing, this helps to counterbalance on those ankles, all right? First position, we're not interested in going all the way, just to get that supported back arch. So remember when we were doing our salutations and we reached our arms overhead and we kind of lean back, right? That feeling to lean back is a pressure forward through the pubic bone, right, and the front of the thighs. And my tailbone lifts and kind of squeezes the tailbone and sitting bones towards each other, like inward. I'm not telling you to scoop your tail. What I'm telling you to do is aim your sitting bones down towards the backs of your knees and bring your squeeze towards the midline, to your booty crack, that way. All right? So try that, but without raising the arms, do fists. And your fists are gonna rest right at either side of the top of your sacrum, below your belt line, okay? Notice you have an opportunity here. When you start, your shoulders can come forward and your elbows can flop back, and that's not the way to start this pose. The way to start this pose is to open your chest. This is a heart opener pose. So start with your heart open. Start with your elbows pulled back. Start with that activation in your pelvic floor and your backside. And now see if you can make more space from your pubic bone to your heart, up the front of your body. So we want to elongate before we extend. And I'm not just elongating the front of my body. I'm elongating out of my low back. I am creating more of a lifting action through my ribs, my back ribs. My shoulders are plugged into the back door of my heart. And I'm smiling and I'm having fun. Take a big breath. Push those knuckles of your hands into your back. And see if you can lean back a little bit more with the support of your arms. Good. Notice how your belly has to open up and lift. Now when you come up, pull in pelvic floor. Inhale, lift through your heart to raise out of the pose. And just sit for a moment on your heels and pause. Turn your palms up. Take a quiet moment. So we got all this amazing activity and energy and prana flowing through our bodies. And as we have that energy flowing through our bodies, we have to know that there's a purpose for all that opening, all that freedom, right? It's to clear us of debris. It's to remove blocks from our energy so we can feel more alive, more vibrant, more connected, more in a pure, healthy relationship with the self. So those are all, our deepest intentions as we move and we open through this asana practice. All right, round 2. Coming up onto your knees once again. This time I want to give you the option, not just coming here and working where we just were, so you can do that a second time, going slowly, not rushing it, okay? You can also, if you feel like you're ready to go into a deeper back bend, we're nice and warm now, you can stack your heels, turn your upper body towards your right side, reach back and grab your right heel and lift up through the left arm. Much like gate pose, only our hips are pressing forward,
right? Our heart is lifting up and we're arching back. Okay, so that's another option. If you want to do the other side, just take your time as you go in and out of the pose and use your breath. So I'm going to turn my trunk towards so my hips stay facing forward as possible. I'm looking to grab my heel. Hips are pressing, pubis is pressing. I'm not just leaning back, but I'm reaching and lifting up. So you want push down through your left hand at your left heel and reach up through your right hand. So you're not just dumping back. You're expressing this energy from the earth to the sky. Good, and when you're ready to come out, inhale slowly and come back to center. Good. If you were doing this version, that's perfectly safe and wonderful. If you were doing it with your toes curled under, try to uncurl and give it a little bit here, a little more trust of a process. And then finally, for those of you who are ready, after you rest for 30 seconds or a minute, breathing and being, taking pause, parking it. May even do a few little exercises and connecting to Mula Bond. Again, lifting the perineum, and then seeing if you can squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way up. See if you can bring that squeeze of Mula Bandha all the way up to your navel. That's how far it can go. Awesome, everybody. Last round. Coming up onto your knees. Your choice. Honoring where your body's ready to go. Some of you, you can do flat hands at the low back. Reach, grab the heels, full Ustrasana. I'm going to use my Mula Bandha to get me there, or you just come back with the hands flat. As you come forward, I want you now, instead of coming into Virasana, come into Child's Pose, Balasana, and rest. Give yourself about a minute here, taking your time. Give yourself a sigh, a sound, a little vocal release. And then peel yourself up. Peel yourself up ever so gently. Awesome. And we will now come into some of our beautiful yin chill out poses. It's kind of, in a way, our reward for working so hard. Okay, I'm actually going to move my camera, so hold on just a second, pause my video. Okay. I'm back. So this is a nice little time a little interlude if you want to get a drink of water, if you want to get some props, like a blanket or a pillow. You can do something soft or something to elevate your hips. Perfect. And then I'll give you guys about a minute if you need to use the restroom, and then we'll meet each other on the floor.
Okay. So we're going to work on what's called the liver gallbladder meridian lines. And this particular sequence is out of Sarah Power's book, chapter 8. So if you see me looking down, I'm just making sure I don't veer off in some other direction. But the beautiful thing about the liver gallbladder sequence is it really helps to remove any excess irritability and anger out of our body. So the liver, which is on the right hand side of your body, just under your last few ribs, your liver is what pretty much detoxes everything that you take in, whether it's what you eat, what you drink, what you're breathing in, like the environmental piece. So your liver works hard. And so what it does as it starts to stagnate, it actually causes stiffness in our whole body. So it could cause stiffness in the joints, you know, whatever begins to feel toxic. For me, it sometimes has to do with like getting headaches, right? Because I really like to express anger. So it might happen in the jaw and in the throat. So you want to really make sure that as you work through these poses that you keep, you know, your forehead soft. You know, you might even need to massage, you know, your jaw as you work through these. Because those of us who don't freely express our anger, and, you know, there's toxic anger and there's healthy anger. You know, sometimes we need to get it out, we need to feel it, but then if we internalize it, it gets stuck in our body. So the liver is sort of that organ that helps to support us. When it's free, then we don't live a very irritable life, right? We can let things move through us. If we're angry about something, we can say it and speak it. I'm really angry about this, it's making me mad. And then it's like, whew, it's going, okay? It doesn't stay with us. So the liver does that. The gallbladder, you know, it's secreting, you know, bile to help us digest things. So a lot of what the liver and gallbladder do too is help us digest life, help us break down and metabolize whatever we're taking in. So we'll be moving through this sequence with the intention to release any excess toxicity in the body, which means having some water nearby is important. So make sure you have your water in. If you empty it quickly, you can always get up and get more when you need to. And the liver is actually considered a gland in the body. So it's a secretor, all right? And so it weighs about 3 or 4 pounds. And, you know, it does a lot for us in importantly kind of helping us with our fat cells, right? It's a chemical factory of the body, and any substance that can't be broken down for energy in the body is worked through in the liver. So liver qi imbalances are linked to paralysis, arthritis, cramps, muscular weakness, stiffness, feeling off center, fatigue, vertigo, dizziness, and the list goes on and on. So detoxing for all of us is important. Even people who are healthy like me, I feel like about 2 or 3 times a year, I need to make sure that I do some really super clean, help to detox anything that my body can't do itself. All right, so let's start in our first pose, and we'll talk more about all this. The first pose that we're going to take is a wide knee child's pose, wide knee child's pose. And sometimes people, because this is, you know, inner groin, sometimes this can be challenging. I'm gonna take a drink. So if your inner thighs are tight, or if you have knee troubles, you definitely want to be respectful. So lately I've been having a little stress on my knees from all the sitting I've been doing, like in like Sukhasana while I teach. So I'm going to take my bolster. I'm actually going to sit on the edge. Let me see if I can get my camera better here, guys. So I want my knees to be wide and my feet to be closer together. And then you're going to come forward from here. You can turn your head to one side or the other. I guess this is when you realize you have to vacuum your floor because you got dog hair in your mouth. All right, so, and you're really going to chill. Chill, 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 all the way as much as you can.
Okay. You could do this without the bolster or a pillow or a blanket. You simply, as long as it's comfortable and safe for your knees, you can come down, stack your arms, and then rest your head on your stacked arms. We just have to remember that we're usually here in these poses for, 3-ish minutes, the least, sometimes 5. And all kinds of interesting sensations will arise. And it's very normal for us to feel the anger that we may have internalized during some of these poses. The gift of these shapes is to learn to be with, breathe with these things that arise and come up for us. And to do that with compassion. So offer back compassion whenever anything arises. And during this time together, I will take some time to put on some music for you as you hold. And at the same time, what I would love for you to do is if and when something arises and it feels like a very intense sensation in the body, is ask yourself, if I stay here, my body, if I stay here, am I hurting myself? Or am I just moving through something that feels stuck? Okay, that inquiry needs to be constant, because if you're putting too much strain, say, on a knee, you need to adapt the pose. For me, it's better sometimes if I got too much pressure on my knee to take this pose on my back. So you all have always free reign to create these shapes in a way that feels safe for your body. Okay, so if you need to do this wide on your back, it may look like this. Okay, and that's just as powerful to hold. We'll still teach you what you need to teach. We'll help release the energy that might be stuck on the inner groin without the pressure. Okay, so we're just here for another minute or so. Allow yourself to dive in. Be as passive as you can. So the liver meridian goes from the big toe all the way up the inner thighs and through the center of the body to the liver, and then energetically goes up that whole entire right side, right breast point, up into the chest and throat on the right. So remember how I talked about that jaw, especially on the right-hand side, right? Right is our masculine channel. We can hold a lot more on that side, that energy. So allow yourself to soften through the jaw and throat, through the muscles of the face and eyes. The Taoist thought healthy liver qi is so central to our overall well-being that they nicknamed it the general. That just tells you how much the liver governs our qi in our body. Liver qi governs the overall healthy flow of energy. It rules the health of the muscles, tendons, nails, hands, and feet. It is the sense door in the eyes, and the eyes will reflect healthy liver qi. Right. Good work, everyone. So the way out is forward onto your belly. Okay, so you're going to snake yourself into Sphinx pose. 2 opportunities in Sphinx pose. Forearms on the ground, legs behind you. And of course, the arms are parallel. Some people really like to do a bigger version of this pose that we call seal pose. I'm gonna be here for about 2 minutes. So seal would be to open the hands so they're wide onto the outer side of your mat, and then you push down and you straighten your arms and you hold this. Now I'm giving my booty a little squeeze here in the beginning because I need that support for my low back. And if your low back hurts, it's probably better to come down to the first phase and keep the booty nice and soft. There's always the opportunity to take a blanket or pillow underneath the front of your belly, so you have the support of the pillow. So I have a little bit of an epigastric hernia that I have to take care of on the front of my belly. So oftentimes when I do this pose, instead of like making my booty passive, I might give a little squeeze in my booty just to support my belly, okay? Typically what you have in this pose is you let the belly sort of spill forward and relax, okay? And as long as that's safe for you, you can do that. Now remember, we can always do our internal bandhas, right? It doesn't have to be the outer muscles, but the deeper muscles, just to support us in these poses. So we're gonna be here another minute or so. And as you're here, close your eyes and breathe consciously. We know we're always breathing, but are we always breathing consciously? So to breathe consciously, we check in, we don't check out. We feel how we are a participant in our own experience. We allow ourselves to get quiet and present. Present to whatever arises. The liver chi is responsible for an easygoing inner environment, and it is in charge of balancing the emotions. And it is also to be known that as women, during menstruation, the liver chi can stagnate a little bit, and that might be why we tend to get more irritable during our, or right before our menstrual cycle. So the book says this is not only a result of hormonal influences and overreactivity in the limbic system, but also because her body is flushing out accumulated toxins, making the liver more active than at other times and affecting the liver chi. So that's why that discomfort arises often when we're really letting a lot of toxins go. And I oftentimes, every couple of months feel like my periods are a little bit more painful, or that those, like seasonally, I might feel a little bit more kind of toxic. And so that will show up in our menstrual cycle. So you can really begin to feel that your body is giving you messages all the time. And let's just send a thank you to our body with this next breath for always being so honest with us. All right, so we'll make our way out of this pose. You're gonna press first back towards child's pose again. And the transition from this pose to the next, which is sleeping swan, AKA pigeon, is fairly easy. So you're gonna go in to all fours position, and then slide your right knee up on the right track. Bring your right foot over to the left track. Slide your left leg back on the left track, okay? So this is sleeping pigeon when we come down and fold. If you need any support with a pillow or a block, you can always take something to rest your head on. And remember, we want to get as passive as possible. So you want to be able to really relax here. Close your eyes and start to be here now. Fully present with your body. Fully relaxed. Responding to the moment. Moment to moment awareness. You realize all these moment to moments are temporary. And we honor being here and just abiding with our breath in the shape. Knowing that as we take these shapes, we are helping our body detoxify, to open and release. Just saying, remember that, you know, this particular shape, if it gets too intense, you can take it onto your back. And we're just in this final moment here, so another like 20, 30 seconds. And there's always ways to make our poses work for us. So we can still get the benefits even if we have to back it up. All right, so this transition is interesting because we're going to transition into what's called shoelace pose. Okay, so the way we do that is start to make your way up. Okay, this right leg that's in front as we open and turn out of the pose is going to be on top as we stack the knees one on top of the other. Okay, so your right leg, the same leg that was in front in our pigeon shape, is now going into shoelace. This is also known as cow face pose in Hatha yoga. But for our yin practice, like two laces. Okay, so you can start here, knee over knee. If this is too intense, again, you can put it on your back. So you can lay back and cross your knees. Also, what may be helpful for those of you who do have tight hips is to sit on a block or a firm pillow. Okay, so that's going to take a little of that pressure off. All right, I highly recommend everyone have at least one block, if not two, for most practices. All right. All right, so let's just start by sitting up and imagine that you're sending your anchor or your plug down into the earth Both sitting bones just dropping. And then really sit into the pose. The tendency is for us to sit forward and over the pose. So sit into the pose, right in the center of it. Okay? And already you'll begin on that feeling on that top leg, that right hip, sort of a spiraling action. That spiraling action is helping to unwind those deep pelvic connective tissue. And it's also, we want to release deep into the lower belly, right where those creases are, where our hips and our legs meet. Okay, so if you feel comfortable to come to the next phase of this pose, you can come forward, but try to keep your hips anchored down. So the tendency is for as we come forward, the hips rise up behind us. So try to keep them anchored down. You may even take your hands and place them down on your hips and thighs as you bring your belly over your top leg. Okay, so we're just gonna hold this another minute or so, allowing the breath to stay easy. Allow the muscles of your face, your cheeks and eyes, jaw and throat to remain soft. Remember, if you feel unstable in your knee, that lower leg can actually straighten out, just so the right leg is crossed over. I'll just show it to you just in case. There's just so many ways this cannot work for some people. So if that's you, you can do it this way. Okay, and again, you can also lay it on your back. So several moments left to be. Shamatha in awareness, in peacefulness, and compassion. Loving kindness, karuna. Sending that message to your body. I open and I release. I let go of those tensions, any anger and irritability. I nourish my liver, my gallbladder. Sending those currents of love and peace through the body. And on our way up, just slowly keep the chin in as you round up, pull the belly in, come all the way up. And whether you have your knee over straight leg or both legs bent, okay, we're going to do this from sitting up tall. So if you've been laying down, you may want to come back and just send one leg out straight. We're going to do a lateral stretch, a side bend. So we still keep the legs the way they are. And bring our left hand down on our left side and bring our right arm over. Okay? And you're going to just let yourself come as far as you can comfortably while still keeping that hip down along the floor. Okay. So you can let your head hang. This is a nice way for us to release our shoulder, our side body. Apparently the chickens are outside singing to you as well. So maybe the chickens are expressing our irritability and anger leaving our body. This is the sound of when chickens are ready to lay eggs, right? Yeah, let's take 5 more breaths. Close your eyes. Let those breaths roll through. I'm going to go all the way down, if I can, onto my elbow. Keep stretching open. Beautiful. So first, press down where the floor is and pick yourself up from there, and then slowly slide the arms back into the first position. We have one more pose that's on this right side. I know we just go one right after another. So now plant your right foot on the ground in front of your knee. Okay, just like we would for a seated twist, because that's where we're going next. So right leg over. If you need to bring that right foot in front or even close in by your side, you're welcome to. But the best kind of twist you're gonna get is if your foot's on the outside of your left thigh. Hook the left arm around your knee or bring the elbow to the outside. Okay, I like to hook, helps me keep my trunk upright better. Bring your right arm around behind you and let's give it a nice deep twist using the arms as leverage to make that twisting action through the spine. So again, you're keeping those sitting bones anchored downward. You're raising your energy up your spine. So little Mula Bandha to lift into your pelvic floor. That will draw your belly and your lower belly in. It'll give a big boost up through your spine. And just imagine your force field around you is radiant like the sun. Drinking in the breath. Soft smile. Smile gives you a little softer of a jaw. Area across the brow relaxed. Today I have a little headache, so I put a little bindi on my forehead to remind me to soften there. The third eye. Good. Just 30 more seconds. It's an extra long hold when we're doing it yin style, so it just requires a little bit more patience. So note, you don't have to be completely active this whole time. You can hold the twist and soften around the outer edges of your skin. You can feel more planted and grounded. So when you exhale, really yielding to the earth. And then just be more attentive to the way your breath moves in a twisted shape. So you'll notice probably more activity through the side ribs, maybe around your belly. We're just thinking we're washing all the inner organs, but especially the liver and gallbladder. Beautiful. Let's exhale, release. Send both legs out in front. You guys did awesome. Shake that out. And let's go on to our other side. So we're doing all those same things on the left now. So right leg behind you, pigeon, left leg in front. Let me move up. All right, so we're gonna press down through that back leg. You can even look and make sure that back leg is straight back behind you. You might have to adjust it a little bit. Then turn to face forward. Get whatever props you need. Boy, that was a stretch. And then come forward, because remember, this is our sleeping swan. Doing a resting version. So settle in and get your wiggles out. And once you've settled in and got your wiggles out, then just bask in it, be in it, stay with it. With no wiggles, if possible. Find your stillness. Just ask yourself, how much more can I melt into this shape? How much more can I release? Where do I tend to carry resistance or hold or grip?
And just giving yourself permission. A little bit about the gallbladder meridian. The gallbladder meridian begins at the outer corner of your eye and travels down the lateral side of the body to the outer hip. And then there's an internal branch that goes through the neck and chest into the liver and gallbladder. And then it runs down the outer knee and ends at your fourth toe. So more on the outside, whereas the liver is more on the inside line of the body. So you can imagine as we're opening the hips here, we're really accessing the gallbladder. So liver gallbladder chi is responsible for our discernment. The gallbladder relates to our ability to follow our path in life and to avoid deviating or being pulled off by external influences. It also relates to our capacity to regain equilibrium after a shock or obstruction in our plans. So we've all experienced a little bit of challenge in this area, right? We've had to pivot. We've had to change and shift our way of being based on external influences that we have no control over. So this is a lot of our ability to sort of bounce back, right? The essential feature of liver chi health is flexibility and an ability to change and adapt. So we're thanking our liver and gallbladder for that sense of empowerment that we've been offered to change and adapt with the many circumstances this year. Just another 30 seconds or so here. You guys are doing great. It's a long hold, so it really does give us an opportunity to be patient and present. And when you're ready, we'll make that slow transition up through sitting, taking the left leg now in front for shoelace, or on top, I should say, for shoelace pose. Starting with an upright. Shoulders relaxing away from our ears. Sitting bones plugged in. We're actually sitting back into our seat. Let's all take a moment just to massage out our jaw. Okay, so right at the outer edge of the earlobe and just above that, you usually find the masseter muscles. You know, if you clench your jaw, those guys stick out. Okay, that's what we want to relax and massage. And then you let your jaw open a little bit and massage. You can use your fingertips to massage upward. Good. Oh, my jaw needed that. Good. All right. So let's come forward now. You can keep massaging if you want. So let's come forward. Remember, when we tip forward, we want to keep our sitting bones kind of pressing back. So you may have to connect your hands a little bit more actively with the floor. I'm going to go back and show you what that looks like. So you want to feel like when you're on the floor, you're not just leaning into your hands, but you're kind of pushing your hands opposite direction of you. I'm teaching you a little bit of that active connection. So we're not just passively just hanging out, but there's
a power in not pushing, but also not pulling, not collapsing or overpowering a pose. It's like you have a relationship that's healthy with the ground. You're letting it be utilized for your own benefit. But at the same time, we want to soften. So bend at your elbows and lower down from there, and see how you can let the head, the neck, the shoulders all relax, even though you have a connection. So it's like you have that intimacy with the earth, you have that intimacy with your breath. And now see if you can let gravity, your breath, your inner world all dance together in kind of a, almost like a slow dance, right? Just soft and easy, swaying in rhythm, like a gentle breeze, like a lullaby. With each breath, you're saying thank you to your body. All your inner organs and what they're constantly doing for us to keep us healthy. And it's always an invitation for us to support ourselves ever more deeply in the process of our own health and wellness in life. So take another couple breaths here in patience and gentleness. See if you can breathe down into the bowl of your pelvis, down into your hips and low back. Let's walk the hands back in. Got our lateral stretch. So we're going in the direction of our right now, so away from that left hip, and that left hip is going to anchor down as we reach up and then arc over. I'm going to let my head and my neck release. This is giving me an opportunity to do a little work on my skull, the back of my skull, maybe my shoulder. I may find that I can come down even more. This side is definitely a little tighter for me. So I'm just drawing on my breath and my softening with my breath to just carry this long, deep lateral stretch through my side body. Hey, we did this already in a way with our gate pose, right? So this is just an extension of that. So do your best to remain here. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to really work how I can soften more through my throat and my neck. Because remember, this pose begins, right, in a way, energetically near our eye, right? Outer edge of the eye. So let the eyes soften. The deep inside of your brain softens. Back of your skull softens. So create that room, create that space. Awesome. You're almost there. Just 30 more seconds. And just imagining if any channels were blocked or stuck, this is the place where it all starts to wake up. The channels open, free movement of prana, life force through the body. All right, let's come on up nice and easy. Remember, we're lifting up through the outer side of our body, giving ourselves time to raise. Big breath in, sigh it out, take those shoulders back. Now we got our last pose, twist, before we go into our Shavasana. So I'm gonna plant my left foot down on the ground, hooking the right arm around, left hand behind my back. I'm using my arms as leverage for the twist. So use the length, pressing down through your sitting bones to ground, and then raise the energy up through the spine by engaging your inner body, engaging that Mula Bandha, engaging the crown, even with the ceiling, and then spiraling the arms. There has to be, a little bit of softening through that hip crease, because otherwise that tensor fascia lata, that muscle there, will grip. So do your best to kind of soften inside that crease. So you're not working so much the hip flexors, you're just letting the spine rotate around the central channel. Soft muscles of face and eyes. The spiraling action of the rotation of your spine, helping to massage those deep inner organs. Remembering everything deep inside our trunk, all those organs are connected to each other in some way, all these pathways of fascia and tissue. So as we spiral and as we massage those inner organs with our breath, everything is getting a fresh wash of blood flow, nerve energy, and oxygen, right? On your next breath out, go ahead and begin your unwinding process. Good. Send the legs straight out. Let that energy just wash through you. Shake out the legs. And then we're gonna make our way towards Shavasana. In our, let's see. We typically have a pose called square pose at the end, but we're going to just skip that, go right into reclining butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, and that'll be our little pose interlude before we go into Shavasana. So soles of your feet together, knees splay open. You can take something behind you for your head or even for your spine. I love doing this over a bolster. And so you just lay back and relax with the soles of the feet together and the knees splaying open. So we'll just be here for about 3 minutes, and then we'll transition into our final resting place, Shavasana. Let this be a place where we're actually letting more go, letting more unwind. Placing blocks underneath your knees or thighs can help. If you have just blankets and no blocks, you can place something underneath those thighs so your back can relax and your legs can relax even more. Take maybe 3 or 4 long, deep, slow breaths as you get into the pose. Let each of those breaths have an open mouth exhale, sigh or sound, just to help you move some of that nerve energy into rest and digest. Permission, safety, gentleness, ease. And send that message to the body to remain soft. If you're loving this pose, you can stay here. If you want to make your way into more traditional Shavasana, now is the time. As you're making your way into Shavasana, I am going to read a prayer to you from my book called Walk in Spirit. And this is a prayer for the summer as we just pass through the threshold of the summer solstice. And we're still in a beautiful new moon energy and the reverberations of a little solar eclipse. We honor this time of softening with this prayer. Great Mother, we see you at the heart of our world. We give thanks to you for our life force and the gifts of our physical being. With this gift of life, you have presented to us with the mirrors of existence that elevate our soul toward the highest light. Every day we are faced with these reflections as they bring us great pain and great joy. In our pain, we may forget we are on a great journey. We may struggle within the confines of our ignorance, searching for a way to tear the veils away that cloud our vision. Great Mother, help us on our journey of discovery. Give us power to continue to seek. Help us find joy and courage. As we navigate through the dense fog of any confusion, help us, Great Mother, to understand your needs and what it takes to heal your precious body. In our commitment to you, we make a commitment to ourselves to own our enlightenment, to own the process of forgiveness and wisdom. In this forgiveness, I make a pledge from my heart to find an end to this weakness and pain, to find a harmony and a balance, so that we may more successfully walk with a foot in the physical and a foot in the physical, in the spiritual. Oh, Great Mother, I humble myself to your power. At this moment, I visualize golden white light surrounding me
enabling me to move into my shaman center, into my place of power. A perfect reflection of your innocence. I see the shield that you carry shining like a beacon in the darkness. Your shield is made of trust and faith. Trust that each and every one of us will build a rainbow bridge across any abyss of darkness. Faith symbolized by each of us crossing that bridge, held forever in your light. Great Mother, we give thanks for your blessings. Oh. So we'll stay here for the next few minutes, quietly basking in the beauty of this moment and all the medicine that we were given through this practice.
Raja Padadina, tomorrow mantra
And taking this time now to deepen our breath. To awaken to that deeper and more powerfully divine essence that is within us. We feel at home in our bodies, open, present to breath, connected, supported by the earth below us and all the elements. And breathe into those feelings of space, feelings of lightness and buoyancy, of health and of wellness. And when you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bringing that awareness and divinity and light through all your points. All 72,000 nadis. As you breathe that energy support through your inner body, also see it expanding beyond your skin into the space around you, your auric field. Take your time to reach through your toes and your fingers. To stretch the arms and legs. Rolling to your right side. It's your solar side, the side that'll help you kind of come back into some activity, whatever's ahead for the rest of your day. You're coming back energized and open and ready to experience whatever is next with a more open heart, balanced, harmonized. As you feel ready, make your way on up to a sitting position. Bring your palms together at heart center. Bow to your own heart. We give thanks for this opportunity today to know that we can become lighter, that we can become softer, even when there's challenges around us or in front of us. We thank ourselves for the compassion muscle that's getting stronger, the part of us that is the shaman, that is wise and knowledgeable to all the aspects of life as we live it. I thank each and every one of you for allowing me the honor of taking you through this beautiful yoga practice today. I hope you have a beautiful, amazing day. Namaste.